Hey, good morning. How are you all today? Yes, it's still morning, second one of the day, and it's not even noon yet, but I've been out back. Shot one earlier today uh, about the possibility of the Fortunes book 1 second after being made into a movie. So if you haven't seen that one, you might watch that one. Been out back where I'm switching around a lot. Well, we're putting in a new patio out here. We're extending the deck. I'm switching around a lot of the raised beds and containers out back, and then we're putting in some more ground stuff. A lot of stuff. Burning some stuff. Burning. Uh, I've got like 2 years of wood over where you can't see it. Then I'm burning some of the old wood to make new room for new wood because I got to take down another tree, and if I take it down and chop it up and I stack it, I won't have room for anything else around here except wood. So getting rid of that, and going to sit down and talk to you about the coming recession. And the reason that I'm talking about that, now if you've been with me before, you might be surprised that I'm talking about that. But I saw another video, another channel talking about, yes, folks, the recession is here, the recession is coming, the recession this, recession that. And, just like I talked about earlier about the 1 second after books, my books take a much different tack than Fortune's books. And I bring a message of positivity to things. If you're going to prepare, why are you just preparing for things to be horrible? Why aren't you? The whole purpose of preparing is to get through something horrible and to come out of it okay, right? Whether it's a job loss or devaluation of the currency or whatever, there are ways to prepare for this, and those are the things. And I apologize if I'm sitting at an angle here. By the way, we've just laid out. I haven't poured the gravel base and the sand base to lay we're putting in a paver patio, and we do it ourselves. We don't bring some other people in to do it. And so we've just laid out, I had the boys lay out the pavers in the design of where it's going to cover, just so I could see, whether I needed to order new pavers or how big I wanted the patio and everything like that. And so they're just laid out on uneven ground. So I'm just sitting here on uneven ground. So if I'm at an angle, I'm sorry. So anyway, I'm watching this video, and again, it says something like 90% guarantee of a recession. Now, guys, I've told you repeatedly that we are not in a recession. I read the comments on this channel. Every stinking comment. We've been in a recession for years. We're in a depression, not a recession. Same old song. Same old song. If you, well, let me put it this way. Most of you who have been with us before know better than that, right? Because you've listened to me. There are ways to measure these things, guys. It has nothing to do with how you feel. It has everything to do with certain economic markers. And we are not in a recession, haven't been in a recession, are not headed towards a depression, any of this stuff like this. Now, I know that that's going to disappoint a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to click off right now because they wanted their daily dose of doom, and they want their dopamine to hit. And now I'm telling them that it's not as bad as they've been told, and so they're off. They're going to go find a channel that tells them that things are bad, which is what they want. Now, things can always be bad, but whether they're bad for one person doesn't mean that they're bad for another, and it has everything to do with how the person has set the decisions they've made, how they've prepared, right? Okay, let's get away from the figures for a minute, because all the figures indicate the economy is strong. Hiring, new job hiring is good. Now, should I throw in all the numbers? I could, 177 non-farm, 77,000 non-farm jobs created last week, higher than expected. The important thing is that most of them were non-government jobs. We had these supposedly good figures under Biden. Most of them were government jobs or illegals or immigrants, should I say. Probably a lot of them illegal. But let's get off of the figures and go to something that I think is more reflective, okay, because it means more to individual people. I was at a family function. Now, I've said I don't know anybody who's having hard financial times. I don't. And I know that a lot of people hate me for that. A lot of people say, well, what could you possibly know about prepping? You seem to not have gone through hard times recently. Well, that's true. Thanks to the good Lord and me working my ass off, I haven't. I've been through hard times long ago, been through real hard times. Decided I didn't want to go through hard times anymore, so I changed the decisions I was making, okay? Guess what? Life changed. Life got better. So now, oh, and back behind you, this whole back area here looks like a construction site. We're putting in this patio, we're extending the deck, we're doing all sorts of things. But all of those is to improve the quality of our life. But anyway, I have said I don't know anybody. Well, I do know one. I do know maybe 3 people, okay, who are having hard financial times. You know what the difference is? The decisions they make in their life. But these are people who have been constantly all their lives going through from one emergency to another, one financial disaster to another. Okay, it's a matter of behavior. It's a matter of life choices. Now, I was at a family get-together, birthday party, the other day, and a lot of people there, and so I took the opportunity to. Here I am. See, I'm putting my feet up on the table. I'm relaxing while I watch the fire in the background, just burning up a bunch of the old wood. So I was sitting around a table, and I asked, I told everybody, I said, I'm doing an unscientific survey here. And I told them about, what I talked to you all about. There's no recession coming. You should always prepare. And I was happy to see that this other channel had suggested what I always suggest, and that is make more money. You're having a hard time, go out and get another job. Go out and develop, multiple streams of income. That's what you're supposed to do. You are responsible for your security and safety. And at the very foundation of that, after the good Lord himself, is your financial stability. Okay? If you don't have financial stability, you are really not preparing. You can be socking away those 5 cans of beans, but if you get hit with a surprise bill, you're done. You have a medical situation come up or a vehicle situation come up, all those beans in your basement aren't gonna help you. So your financial stability is at the foundational level of your preparedness. So I'm glad that this other channel finally is starting to say, hey, get out there and make more money, rather than separate yourself from the system. You should separate yourself from dependence on the system. But guys, the system is what you work with to establish your independence. Does that make sense? Okay. So anyway, back to the birthday party. So I'm sitting there eating my barbecued stuff and potato salad, all that kind of stuff. And I look around at the guys at the table and I says, hey, I talk about this stuff on my channel. A couple of them watch my channel. And I said, how is the economy for you all? Just give me your honest opinion. How is the economy? And without an exception, every one of them said the economy's great. Okay, now do you think I was sitting around with a bunch of rich guys? Well, I don't know. If they're rich, they haven't told me that they are. Maybe they're secretly rich, but no, they're not. Okay, one sitting to my left is a truck driver, over-the-road driver. Okay, the one across the table from me used to be with 30 years an over-the-road driver, and now teaches he's a professional instructor for truck drivers. And then the other one over there, he had started his own lawn care business a couple of years ago. Every one of them said, no, things are good. Things are great. I asked the guy with the landscaping business, how are your jobs going? He says, can hardly keep up. I asked the truck driver, says, how are your loads? Are you getting light loads? Nope, Nope, everything's good. So guys, the purpose for me to talk to you today is to try to get you off. You know, if I can get a few people off of this negativity about depression, recession, all of this kind of stuff, if I can get a few people off of every video I do, man, that's a few people that are going to be helped, and I'm happy. Okay? That wind we have is blowing the smoke over here. Oh well. I got to get over there and feed the fire here in a second. Put more on there. We got a lot of work to do today. So don't fall prey to this negativity out there. And what does this have to do with preparedness? Because preparedness is a positive endeavor. It should always come from a position of positivity and hope. And for the people who say, hope is not a plan, Steve, hope is where it starts, guys. If you don't have hope for the future, why do you get out of bed in the morning? Okay? Why do you put more gas in your tank than it takes to get home? You see, you do have hope. So these little catchphrases, you have to be careful of these too. Hope is not a plan. It's not a plan, but it's the spark. It's what makes us look forward to the next day. It's what makes us plan. Okay. So stop paying attention to these. And you know, if you know people, spread this around, for crying out loud. Spread this, share this video with other people that you know that are in preparedness. You ought to be preparing. You ought to be preparing hard. You ought to be preparing. In order, my voice is getting a little because of smoke in it. You ought to make preparedness such a part of your life that you don't even notice. That everything you do is about preparedness. Believe it or not, putting in this new patio is preparedness. Maybe I'll explain that someday. Extending the deck is preparedness. Putting in more vegetables out there is preparedness. Extending my fence is preparedness. My dog is over here laying there, guarding my back. He is preparedness. I bought him for preparedness. He's always been here for preparedness. Okay? I'm drinking coffee for preparedness to get me up and get ready. And I'm relaxing for preparedness to rest my body before I go out there and work it some more and dig more post holes by hand. Preparedness should be such a part of your life you don't even notice. And that's why we talk about integrative preparedness. Okay? Integrative preparedness is preparing in such a way that you not only prepare yourself for the future, but increase the quality of your life, improve the quality of your life today, and to be able to separate yourself from dependence on all of those external systems over which you have little or no control, and also to separate yourself from the doomsayers, the ones who want to keep you worried in order either to make money or to make them feel better because they are. Don't be worried. Don't be afraid. Okay? Don't be a sky is falling, boy cried wolf, henny penny, all that stuff. Don't be that. Be an adult. Prepare like a grown-up. Not fretting over everything that goes on. You know how little kids run around, they're all worried, always scared about everything, you know? Grown up, well, not all. Sometimes kids are too stupid to be scared, but you know, be the grown up, for crying out loud. Don't be bouncing around like a ping pong ball. And no, a recession, the people where these people get it, they're watching the news of the people who hate Trump. Simple as that. Okay. Or they just want to be negative. Get them out of your lives. Get the Lord in your life and the negative people out, and you will be amazed at how your life changes. Okay? All right. I'm not quite done with this coffee, but I'm done talking because I get out there and put some more on that fire and get back to digging. And man, I just can't wait for the rest of the day. I hope you all have a good one. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.